Good day, everyone. Meteorologist Mark Muller here. It's great to have you here with me for this edition of MeteoMark's Weather. We're going to be tracking some big-time storms Sunday across parts of the Mid-Atlantic, Northeast, Ohio Valley, and then that's going to shift towards the Southern Plains, parts of the Midwest, and eventually parts of the Mississippi and Ohio River Valleys. We go throughout the rest of this week. And speaking of the tropics, could we actually be looking at a tail end of the frontal boundary right around April 22nd into the 23rd, sparking off the potential for a subtropical system? We'll continue to explore this possibility. And I wanted to let you know that I am working on my Hurricane 2024 Outlook, so I should have that out within the next week or so. So watch out for that. I'll go over what I think is going to happen this hurricane season. Now, let's get into it. So for the rest of your Sunday, late afternoon and evening, we're going to be looking at an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms here across parts of eastern Ohio, all the way up through central, western, and southwestern, especially up into eastern Pennsylvania. That's where we're going to see, Pittsburgh, Scranton, State College area. These areas see the greatest risk. We've already seen some severe reports up here across southern New York State, so towards the Binghamton area. So we're going to continue to watch this, especially as we head into the late afternoon into the evening hours. Damaging wind, large hail. Now, if we take a look at Monday here, this is our severe weather outlook. We have two areas. We have a smaller area here across the Mid-Atlantic. That's what some of that energy that pinwheeled southward here from Sunday. This is Monday, eastern Virginia, northeastern North Carolina towards Virginia Beach and Richmond. Damaging wind, large hail, isolated tornado potential. But it's across the plains here for Monday, especially later afternoon into the evening, overnight hours of Monday night. This is where we're going to see the enhanced risk. Greatest concern, damaging wind, large hail, and tornado threat is running pretty elevated. And as we watch that expand eastward here, we're going to look at a damaging wind, large hail, and isolated tornado threat as we head towards Tuesday here, especially up towards Iowa, parts of northern Missouri here, and then eventually spreading towards Chicago later on Tuesday. I am concerned about, tornado threat running pretty elevated here across parts of the Midwest. Now, here we go for your Wednesday, day 4 outlook. This is an area, as we spread to the east here, we're going to watch for damaging wind, large hail, tornado threat. I do think this will probably likely be expanded more into this region as we head throughout later Wednesday into Thursday. All right, so our HRRR future radar here, we're going to watch for the rest of late afternoon, evening hours into the overnight hours of Sunday. Yeah, this is going to be pushing into parts of New England, but it will be weakening. It's mainly some heavier downpours, but it's this line right here as we head towards 7 p.m., Sunday evening here, eastern Ohio, especially the I-80 corridor of Pennsylvania here up towards. We've already had some, damage reports up towards Binghamton, southern New York State here. So we're going to watch for this to continue. Damaging wind, large hail. We have an enhanced risk of severe weather here. And you can see that's going to pinwheel 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight here. So once we get after midnight, the diurnal heating effects will kind of taper off. That's going to shift southward towards southeastern Virginia, North Carolina for Monday. But you can see we kind of clear things out overnight towards 7 a.m. on Monday morning. I just wanted to briefly show you here on the NAM 3 kilometer. Here is that squall line really well pronounced here towards 8 p.m. on Sunday evening across western Pennsylvania, Youngstown, Akron. Maybe some stronger cells here towards Cleveland, but most of the bad weather should be south and east of Cleveland and Erie. So look at that, moving right through the Pittsburgh area, 10 p.m., 11 p.m., it's through you, but there it is. It will be moving and weakening down into parts of the Appalachians here. So, yeah, we're going to be looking for the possibility as it moves down through the Appalachians here of the potential for the system weakening. So, really interesting system that will spark some showers and thunderstorms here again across Richmond. 8 p.m., we will get a flare-up of this system again, so some of these could contain damaging wind, large hail, and maybe some isolated tornadoes as we stretch through Monday evening and Monday night. Now, our attention's going to turn towards the west here. Through most of early Monday, you're going to see standard showers and some embedded thunderstorms, but it's later on in the, there it is. This is mainly going to be later, extremely late Monday evening and Monday night. Look at this squall line that starts to form across Nebraska, parts of Oklahoma down and through parts of Texas. This is where we're going to see the strongest showers and thunderstorms. Some of these could contain some isolated tornadoes. That enhanced risk is definitely alive and well here, and that's going to spread to the east as we head towards most of the dynamics. This is Tuesday afternoon as we stretch towards Chicago, Illinois. Look at that. Just west of you towards 8 p.m. Some of these are going to really get cranking. Tornado threat will be running fairly elevated. All right, so let's take a look at our SigTor, significant tornado parameter here. You can see as we continue through, say, later Sunday afternoon into the evening hours, we do get a flare up here. This is a rather minimal chance, but, we will have the potential for an isolated tornado across parts of eastern Ohio, Pennsylvania. I think the main threat's going to be damaging hail and wind. But then it's going to turn towards parts of the plains here as we head towards 5 p.m. on your Monday. Look at this. We're stretching from western Oklahoma all the way up to Kansas and Nebraska here, north central part of Texas. If any of these cells can really get cranking, look at this. This is a lot of SigTor here. We're heading up towards 5 to 6 here on the SigTor parameters. So this is looking pretty crazy here as we head throughout Monday evening and eventually Monday night towards 10 p.m. So this is where things are really going to get cranking here. Oklahoma City, 4 a.m. here. That is your window of opportunity. And then it starts to wane a bit towards, say, the morning to early afternoon hours of Monday here. But it's still going to flare up here as we continue towards Tuesday. You can see Tuesday afternoon here. Here it is stretching towards Kansas City. And then that's spreading to the east here, west of Chicago. This is Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. all the way down through Dallas. So this is going to be with us for quite some time as this significant tornado parameter spreads to the east here. And let's see, that is our last frame. This will continue eastward for Wednesday. So definitely watching this area. All right, so our surface-based CAPE here as we continue to head through the rest of your Sunday evening here. There it is across parts of Pennsylvania, eastern Ohio, where we got our system, a flare-up anywhere from about 1,000 to 1,200 joules per kilogram here. But that's going to be quickly shifting towards the southeast here, towards parts of Virginia. This is where you're going to get up towards 2,000 joules per kilogram. Could be enough to spark off some of those stronger storms. And then we get towards, say, let's just back this up a bit. Look at the CAPE here as we head throughout Monday afternoon and evening. This is a tremendous amount. This is towards 2,500 all the way up to 4,000 joules per kilogram here into parts of the red zones. And this is just going to continue streaming north and eastward here as we head throughout. Here it is Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. So we're still going to be watching storms cranking potentially across eastern parts of Kansas, eventually Ohio and northern Missouri as we stretch through Tuesday evening. Look at this, all the way down to the Dallas area. Definitely got to watch this area, and then just west of Chicago. This could be stretching. We still could have the southern portion of this line all the way down through San Antonio. So just keep an eye on this. We'll watch North Carolina as well because we have some energy over here. This is the last frame. This will be continuing towards the east as we head for your Wednesday. Moving system, we're going to turn our attention here to the southern plains. As you can see, that system's going to be moving towards the northeast, and that's where we're going to see that tremendous amount of severe weather showing up here across parts of the plains, eventually the Midwest, as the energy flows towards the northeast here. This is a Tuesday morning, the 16th. Look what's going on here. Massive amounts of storminess here just west of Chicago. Yeah, that's right. We're going to be dealing with a squall line with maybe some embedded supercells. So watch this area as we go towards later Tuesday into early Wednesday. You can see that pushes eastward into the Ohio River Valley. You can see what's going on here. Massive squall line moving into eastern Ohio, western New York, western Pennsylvania. This could be a nocturnal event. Maybe the chance of a derecho here. We'll have to keep an eye on it here as it moves to the east for later Wednesday into Thursday. It does fizzle out into parts of the northeast with another vigorous system as we head towards the 19th here, that pushing into the Ohio Valley and weakening, thankfully. But then we have the potential over the weekend, Actually, yeah, Sunday. Next Sunday here, we're looking at the potential for another severe weather outbreak, this time across eastern Texas, Arkansas, and that pushes to the eastward here towards the East Coast. These will be very fast-moving systems, so any thunderstorms that do get cranking will actually be on the strong to severe side as they race to the east and to the northeast here. And the pattern, it just favors one severe weather outbreak after another as we pinwheel across this area through the rest of the month. We're going to watch from the southern plains all the way up into the Ohio Valley, eastern Great Lakes. Look at this out here. This looks indicative of a big old Bermuda high, more reminiscent of summertime. So it's like we're getting ahead of the game here. We're going to see, the ring of fire, so to speak, is a little bit further to the south this time of year, but you can see this summer-like pattern already setting up here across the east, and this is the 25th. We're just going to continue to conglomerate severe weather here. There's another potential for severe weather outbreak here come the 25th into the 26th in the Ohio River Valley, and we're just going to continue one right after another. Severe weather will be above average. All right, so for the rest of Sunday evening here across parts of eastern Ohio, Pennsylvania, parts of upstate New York, northern New Jersey. This is where we're going to see, the lion's share of the shower and thunderstorm activity. Some could pack a punch with hail and damaging wind. That's going to be moving out to sea here as we head throughout the rest of your Monday. Now, look what's happening here Monday morning here on the European model. There's our big area of low pressure moving up to the northeast, and we're going to see a severe weather outbreak here. Very concerned parts of the southern plains stretching up towards Chicago. This is by Wednesday morning. So squall line pushing into Chicago area and then Indianapolis and then points eastward, western Ohio by 8 a.m. And then as we get the daytime heating, we'll see another round of strong to severe thunderstorms across Ohio towards 11 p.m. on Wednesday evening. So if you notice, the European model is a bit slower than the GFS with this system, so that's interesting. And then we're going to be running into an area of high pressure here, so that will be weakening this system, turning more to a rain event, although would not be surprised if we get some stronger thunderstorms here into parts of Pennsylvania on Thursday before weakening. And there we go. That low pressure system moves off the coast. It can't really go up towards this high pressure system, so it's forced southeastward here. Now, as we get into the next system, this is more of an overrunning system here. You can see a Colorado low, but you can almost see where the frontal boundary is here, maybe sparking off some strong thunderstorms as we head throughout April 20th into the 21st here, and that's going to dive towards the southeast here. Look at this big complex of showers and thunderstorms could be strong to severe, going into those flooded zones too. That is not good. And then as we stretch through the 22nd here, this frontal boundary kind of gets hung up here across parts of the Gulf of Mexico. So this is something we'll have to watch this time of year. Sometimes we can get a tropical entity. That's what we're looking for the potential of here. Could this become subtropical? I was showing you in the previous video a couple days ago, and we'll keep an eye on it here. We might have something as that thunderstorm complex dives across the Gulf of Mexico towards the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. We may have something forming, or at least try to form. All right, so here's our sea surface temperatures, anomalies. Look at this. This is bath water pretty much across much of this area. Now, we are seeing some little cooling upwell spots, but look at this. Even parts of the Gulf of Mexico off the southeast coast, we're still averaging out well above average, but that's, out. Let's go out into the main development region of the Atlantic. So here we go. Look at this. Yeah, this is a tremendous amount of warmth already for this time of year. Look, we're going up to 2, 3, some of these areas just east of the Lesser Antilles, upwards of 5 degrees Celsius above average. And if we take a look at liquid equivalent precipitation totals here, the GFS, and then we'll go to the European, you can see over the next several days, we're going to see a lot of rainfall here from the Midwest to the Ohio Valley, Great Lakes, and the Mid-Atlantic. So that's just going to continue to pile up. And there across the southern plains next weekend, we're just going to continue to pile on through the end of the month here. Look at this. This is a lot of rain here stretching. This is anywhere from 2.5 to 6 inches of liquid equivalent rainfall. And that extends all the way up into eastern Canada here. And here we go with the European run here. You can see there later Sunday night across the northeast Ohio Valley with those severe thunderstorms. And then we get that big storm with all that severe weather here from the Midwest stretching eastward here. So this takes us through Friday morning on the European run, you can see, look at this. This is a lot of rainfall in these areas, locally higher amounts, but look at there in parts of the Midwest, 2.5 to as much as 4.5 inches of rainfall. All right, so let's take a look at snowfall here. There is not a whole lot to talk about. You have to go way up into the northern provinces of Canada and then the Rocky Mountains out here throughout the rest of this entire week. And Derek Rentschler here from Lebanon County, Pennsylvania. He's actually in the Hershey, PA, a rainbow. He was on his way to the Hershey Bears hockey game back on April 12th here, catching himself a rainbow across the Hershey, PA area. Looks like a really nice capture there, Derek. All right, so our upper air pattern here, we're just going to start off with the Euro and we'll transition towards the CFS medium range climate model. You can see here the ridge building across the east here. There's that big time system there into parts of the Midwest and then eventually pinwheeling from this bigger upper level low towards the Canadian Rockies. And as we continue to go in time, we're going to continue to watch that ridge build across the central and southern parts, east and west as well. We do have this trough up here across eastern Canada, but that will be lifting towards the northeast. It will spark off a few unsettled trends here, so maybe some cutoff lows as we head towards the third week and the fourth week of April here. But for the most part, ridge will be starting to build in. And as you can see, this may be our subtropical system or coastal system by this point. We'll take a look at this as well. And here's our CFS medium range climate model. So as we head towards the 24th, this is the CFS. It's showing a massive trough along the U.S. East Coast. So we'll have to see if, the European does get its way with that potential for subtropical system. But there it is, ridging, developing, and then another trough. This is going to be a very fast-moving weather pattern. You can see out here out west, this trough gives way to a massive super ridge here across the east as we head towards the first week of May. So very interesting. Look what's happening here towards the first week of May. The tropics almost look very stormy already here, so this is something we'll have to keep a very close watch on here. And as we head towards the East Coast, towards, say, there it is. It's May 12th. This is heading pretty far out, but, you see these bluer colors here into parts of the tropics like that. That's signifying some storminess trend here. And then here across the northeast, northeastern North America, we'll have to watch for these storm systems that continue. But looking into May here, look at the first week of May. It looks really nice here across the East Coast, with the exception for South Florida here. We may have some sort of tropical disturbance here in the parts of the Gulf of Mexico, but most of Florida, at least through the 5th and 6th, looks good, with the exception of South Florida here. This is something we'll have to keep an eye on. Then there's towards the 7th and 8th. Look what's going on here. So, yeah, if you have any plans to Florida, the southeast, definitely keep an eye on the weather here. Things are looking pretty stormy coming out of the tropics here. So for our Canadian outlook here, we're going to be looking at our winter storm and spring storm outlook here as we continue through the 15th here into Monday. That here into western Quebec, into eastern Ontario, that's where we're going to see some wet snow. But look at most of southeastern Canada is rainfall. Now look what's happening out west out here into western Canada. A big pull of cool air with this system coming off the Pacific. That's going to promote a tremendous amount of snow here and maybe blizzard-like conditions here into the north central plains of Canada as we stretch into Tuesday here. So that system will be pushing eastward. It will be combining forces here with the system here across the lower 48 of the U.S. And that is where we could set up some big blizzard-like conditions here into western Ontario and Manitoba as well. So this is going to be rather interesting as we continue in time. High pressure dominating across parts of eastern Canada here. And look at that system is forced up and over this high pressure system. So rainfall here across southern Ontario and Quebec. That pushes snow way up here into the Canadian Maritimes northeastward. Now, we do set up for a very quiet weather pattern here across much of Canada as we head through the third week of March or April here, for that matter. You can see what's going on here, though. High pressure building in. We will get an overrunning scenario with a weak low pressure system here and a warm front. You can see just to the north of that warm front is where we'll see some snow showers, rain showers south of that. You could stand the chance of getting some severe weather here across southern Ontario. So definitely got to watch out for this the next couple systems here into parts of Canada. no stranger to severe weather, even this time of year. And then the next system pushing to the east, maybe pushing thunderstorms into Ottawa towards Quebec City here and southern Ontario as well. So the pattern is favoring a warming trend. You can see the rain snow line by this point, the end of the month, right around the 28th, all the way up to Hudson Bay here. And even out here out west, it's just mainly going to be mountain snow for the most part towards the end of the month until we get to about the 30th. We get the system here across the Central Plains. All right, so snowfall here across Canada. Let's see how much is actually going to fall. It's mainly northern Canada, although the Western Rockies out here as well. You can see there is a little bit of a flare-up towards the end of the month towards New Brunswick here. So we may not be completely out of the woods just yet, but most of this will be bottled up over the northern provinces here and then the Western Rocky Mountains. And let's take a look at total precipitation amounts here. Yeah, mostly locked up over northern Canada, so this is going to be a shift, although towards the end of the month, right around the 27th, 28th, 29th, look at this. This is in millimeters, so we have a tremendous amount of 60 to as much as 100, close to 125 millimeters. That'll be on the order of 2.5 to as much as 4.5 inches of rainfall. All right, so our tropical update here, it's not going to be long before the tropics are going to start going crazy here. So enjoy this while it lasts. Although it is going to start to get a little bit active here. We have a tail end of a frontal boundary in the region here that's going to continue to spark off showers and thunder showers. Now, this high pressure across the Gulf of Mexico, as we continue to go in time here, you can see what's going to happen here with this system. We do have a tropical wave that's going to be hanging out here just north of Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, Dominican Republic, Haiti here. And that's going to spin some showers even westward towards Jamaica come the middle to latter part of the week here. You can see the system kind of hanging around out here northeast of the Lesser Antilles. It almost looks subtropical in nature here. And then there's a system along the east coast too, a little area of low pressure we'll have to keep an eye on. But look at this towards, say, the 19th. It looks like we're drying out a little bit with the exception of this system here. It's going to be flaring up showers and thunder showers across the northern Lesser Antilles. Now watch this feature up here in the southern plains. Watch this massive complex of showers and thunderstorms enter the Gulf of Mexico right around the 21st into the 22nd. This could be sparking off a subtropical low. We'll have to keep an eye on this really closely towards the 22nd and to the 23rd. And then look at that. It's kind of hanging out here off the southeast coast of the U.S., just northeast of the Bahamas. Continued showers and thunderstorms from Central America up to parts of the Central Caribbean islands. So precipitation here across the Caribbean, Central America. Look at this. Yeah, we have quite a bit in the way of a disturbance here north of Puerto Rico, and that's going to be spreading towards Nicaragua and Honduras here as we spread throughout the week. On the order of, say, 30 to 50 millimeters of rainfall here, anywhere from about an inch to inch and a half. But here, the island of Hispaniola, particularly Dominican Republic, Haiti, and then Puerto Rico here, we could be seeing 60 to as much as 125 millimeters. That's good, a solid 2.5 to 4 inches of rainfall. Here across southeastern part of the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, that area, you could be seeing anywhere from about 25 to 45 millimeters of rain. And if we take a look here into the Eastern Caribbean, we are looking at that major disturbance here as we continue through, say, the rest of the week into the early part of the last week of April. It's going to be stuck with us for a while here, anywhere from 60 to 125 millimeters, anywhere from 2.5 to 4 inches of rainfall. I got plenty more weather for you in just a moment, but take a look at my affiliate. Do you want some awesome maps? Check this out. I am proud to announce that I am now an affiliate with Trilogy Maps. TrilogyMaps.com, bringing you the most digital, customizable maps found nowhere else on the internet. These maps are simply stunning. It's an advanced layering system that makes these maps great for making forecast maps with ease or any other maps that you would like to display important information on. The resolution on these maps is simply amazing. From the detail of everything here in the States, and you can also create stunning, digital, professional layered maps from also across the entire world.
And don't forget, in checkout, the discount code option, use my code, MeteoMark, hit apply, and you will get 20% off your order. So if you want the most professional, customizable, and affordable weather maps found nowhere else on the internet, look no further than TrilogyMaps.com. Link in the description down below along with your discount code.
All right, so temperature-wise here, we're looking for starting off with your Monday. Look at the heat just building here, mid to upper 80s in a lot of the east here from the central states, eastward here, all the way up into South Dakota. That is crazy. Even some 70s here into the Ohio Valley, but here is where the cooler air is holding on, 50s and 60s. That's still not too bad for this time of year. And out here into the Intermountain West as well. So as we continue towards Tuesday, look what's going on here. There is a warming trend going on. Look at 70 degrees all the way up to Interstate 80, maybe even just a little bit northward here, 60s in New England. But look at this. Down here along the Gulf Coast, some areas may be approaching 90 degrees as we head into Wednesday, the 17th here. Look at this. We start to see a cooling trend here into the northern plains, more seasonable as well, 50s into the northeast. And as we get into Thursday, we're going to see a battleground. You can see this cooler air clashing with this warm air to the east. We're definitely going to see where that's just to the where this baroclinic zone is, the extreme temperature difference. That's where we're going to see the severe weather. You can see quite a bit of a temperature difference through Friday. You can see where that front is moving here to the east. Look at this, well into the 90s, upper 80s, near 90s here into the southeast. And then we start to moderate temperatures here as this cooler air pushes south and east for Saturday. Extended outlook from hometown viewers, Binghamton to Scranton, Upper Susquehanna River Valley, New York, and Pennsylvania. We do start to clear it out Monday and Tuesday. We will have a warming trend up towards the upper 60s for Tuesday. And then Wednesday, our next system moves in, 62 degrees, showers and thunderstorms likely. Some could be strong. And then more of a generalized rainfall Thursday into Friday as we see a cooling trend down into the 50s. As always, thank you for joining me for this edition of MeteoMark's Weather. Also, don't forget to join me on Facebook at MeteoMark, also Weather Northeastern, also Twitter at Weather Eastern. Don't forget it's MeteoMark.com, and don't forget, if you want to send me a coffee, there is a link, Super Thanks. You can smash that Super Thanks button or my PayPal link in the description down below. You can buy me a cup of coffee. Thanks, everyone. Share that video. Subscribe if you haven't. Smash that like button.